Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Some of the narcissistic personality traits. Very interesting and how this plays out. The next personality trait we're going to be looking at is they believe that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with only people of high status, either people of high status or institutions that are high status. So this personality trait where they feel like they want to align themselves with people of status, institutions of status, is really interesting because it really allows them to sort of cut off what you would consider maybe the lower rung of society, and that includes kids. That includes guiding others. That includes understanding some of the more gentle emotions, such as being humble or humility, or even some degrees of common sense. It truncates the very, some of the more human emotions that are more down to earth, more natural, more organic. And it also prevents them from seeing their own shortcomings because they feel and believe that they should really be affiliated with these pristine organizations. They're usually very strong churchgoers or very into, certain charity organizations or philanthropic in nature, when in fact, there's a lot of people who are very spiritual, who are very religious, and who have a very strong faith and communicate their faith and can be very inspiring and can be very encouraging and supportive for you. Those are truly spiritual people. But then you have the people who really, you ask them about their beliefs and they can't articulate them. Yet they want to go to church and they want you to blindly follow the religious holidays, yet they don't really have any substance. They can't really back themselves up. In terms of their religion, it's just like they're going to come back with it's just what it is, or they can't articulate what their religious beliefs are. They can't articulate. They just want you to blindly follow, but this extends more into how they raise their family, how they relate to their spouse. They really do not have kind of a heart-soul connection to how they participate in certain things. This can go through every little bit of their life. In fact, they can be extremely perfectionistic. Some narcissists are very much the other, where they're very kind of sloppy and they're very kind of like disorganized and they're very like all over the place and they can't find anything, and then they manipulate you by being so disorganized that you always have to constantly like jump in and help. But there are a lot of narcissists who are extremely organized, to an inhuman degree, where their beds are like practically ironed. Narcissists who iron their sheets and iron underwear and iron socks, and they're constantly getting their carpets cleaned. I've known those who they have to vacuum every single day, and they don't even have a pet. They literally want everything in their house to be vacuumed so that you see like all the stripes on the ground. You can't even walk. They're so very in control of their environment. They expect everything to be so pristine. It's just like you can't. Of course, you're not going to put your glass, and like mar up the furniture, but they don't want you to sit on a couch because it's going to push in the cushion. They want you to. It's too controlling to just a sick degree. To the point where they're spraying Windex on the counter before you've even gotten your meal off of the counter. They're gonna basically like spray over your food. They're just cleaning up. You can't have anything in a lived-in sort of feeling. Nothing can be lived into them. Extremely perfectionistic. Everything is in just such a way, and you're kind of like looked at with a critical judgment sort of look, and it's just, you can't be yourself. And that's the thing with the narcissist, is they feel that they should only be affiliated with these very high and mighty organizations and people. So some of them will like name drop from where I had grown up. There was quite a bit of affluence, wealth, people of influence, and I mean, it's just, you might as well just been walking around with a microphone and just letting everybody just speak on their own. I mean, they weren't really talking to you to have a conversation. They were just touting their own accomplishments, where they just went through their last travel, this expensive thing that they just bought, this car, this third house, and it was just, it's an extreme situation, and it's very difficult to relate to these people because, and I've heard that it's very much like this in other areas. For example, in Hollywood, I was doing a marketing situation there for a company. I belonged to a creative brainstorming group where we developed new products, and we were in the West Hollywood area, and going there for a weekend to develop a new product, etc. And I just noticed from that environment, everybody seemed very superficial, and they're just like, going out to dinner. It's like, oh, who's that over there? Is that Lucy Liu? Everybody is just like all catty and just like, oh, I just want to go and be seen with this and this person. I mean, it's very superficial, and these narcissists love to associate with these other sort of people. And I do understand that you want to relate to people who are like you and who maybe have the same interests. However, it becomes very superficial, and what I would consider the word vapid, V-A-P-I-D. Vapid, which means it's a tangible emptiness. When you're there, it's just kind of like everybody is just like, it's very empty. It's just like, oh, where did you get that bracelet? And it's just like, they're not even complimenting you. They more want to know just to, I guess, find out for themselves, but it's a very different sort of tonality. Again, it's very hard to explain, but you really feel it. And if you've ever been to Hollywood, I mean, there's all sorts of, what is that Red Hot Chili Pepper song, Californication, and just like, it's like all the people with the plastic surgery, and it's just a fake life. And the narcissist, they feel that they have to strive to attain this, inhuman, perfection, which is very empty and vapid to be around. So it's a very discontent sort of aspiring. It's just like aspiring after nothing. But for some reason they think that that's the only worthy thing to do, and they really are missing quite a bit of the richness, I think, of life. And in terms of like looking at the whole spectrum of people and human suffering and human struggle and human, endurance and certain things like that, they're just, they really believe that they should be affiliated with these sort of organizations, but oftentimes it's in a very snooty, arrogant way, which really is not worthy of, I would say, those higher things. I mean, there's a lot of people who have attained great things in life, but they're very humble, and they're very grateful for their talent, and they're very in touch with all the gifts that they and all the experience that they've had to go and bring them to that place, and they will give credit where credit is due. Oftentimes these narcissists, they want to steal all the credit for themselves, and they only want to associate with people who are of this high and mighty, when in fact they really should be giving people attention and giving people credit who really enjoy them, or who really want to be there for them, or who would really be their friends, but they push away these people with their hostility, their anger, and their arrogance. Peace and harmony with you here today. Hope these videos are helping you, giving you some insight, and helping you to identify some of the issues going on with a narcissist in your life or just people in general. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.